Hi, this is Robert Polenick, the owner of Brutal Iron Gym. I just finished up an arm workout and I thought I'd share 3 tips on how to put together a great arm training day. So tip number 1 is to start light and work your way heavy. This might be contrast to what some people think in regards to you want to maximize the weight load used to create the most muscle damage. However, I like to start with lighter movements to build my mind-muscle connection, kind of make sure I'm feeling the muscle squeezing, stretching, making sure that the biceps and triceps are doing the work, not my front shoulder or momentum or anything else getting involved. Then also starting light and working my way heavier allows me to kind of build up the intensity of the training, get a good amount of volume in before I do my heaviest sets and then kind of exhaust myself and am done. Sometimes what I'll see with clients is they'll do heavy stuff right away and then the rest of the workout they're kind of too exhausted, and the stuff they do at that time they don't seem to put as much effort into and the weight loads are really low. So although they're doing volume, it's not as beneficial of volume. So front loading the workout with more volume than working your way to heavy allows the front part of the workout to be more focused, more intentional, and a better quality of work. The other benefit is typically our biceps and triceps are loaded to maximum weight load capacities when they help out with chest or shoulder training and back training. Meaning when I'm doing back rows, I'm going to be using my biceps, even though I try to focus on my back and I want my back to be the main focus of the movement. My biceps are still involved and they're going to be involved in a very heavy weight load. Same thing with the triceps for chest presses or overhead presses. So the biceps and triceps already get a very heavy stimulus when we're training our other muscles, the push and pull muscles. Therefore, then when I'm training an arm day, if I start light and work my way heavy, by the time I get to heavy, am I going to be somewhat pre-exhausted, pre-fatigued from the light work? Yes. Does that minimize the true amount of weight that I can use on the heavy arm movements? Yes. However, that reduces the joint stress and strain that you'll have on arm day, which then allows the joints of your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists to be less negatively impacted, less negatively kind of damaged, pre-stressed, pre-fatigued when you lead into or come out of the chest and back training. So sometimes when people are trying to get bigger arms, they push arm day, they're still pushing back day, they're still pushing chest and shoulders, and they start to create some shoulder and elbow and or wrist issues. By pre-fatiguing the arms, by doing the light into heavy weight loads on the arm day, it reduces some of that strain and it can help still build big muscles, but save the stress in the joints. Then the third tip is to use a lot of angles. You'll see in my workout today, I'll overlay some videos while I'm talking. I did 3 different bicep movements, 3 different tricep movements. Now, sometimes I'll maintain the same workout for 4 weeks in a row, and then I'll make changes, and that's exactly what I do for my clients. However, I also, since I'm the trainer and I want to experiment with new movements, I'm always updating the programs for clients. Sometimes I don't stick with stuff for 4 weeks. I'll give it 2 or 3 weeks, then try something new, go back to something familiar. I kind of bounce around a little bit, but anytime I go back to a movement, I want to make sure I'm always progressing. You don't want to bounce around without any reassurance that you are making weight progressions. So there's a balance between doing the same thing, I think, for longer than 4 weeks in a row, the same movements isn't very beneficial. There starts to become kind of a cost to benefit ratio, that kind of thing. There's negatives to it. So I like redoing programs every 4 weeks. But I've seen sometimes clients will come to me and they haven't been getting great results, but the program they were following before had 8 to 12 to even 16 weeks of the exact same movements every single week. That's not the greatest design. So incorporating a lot of variety, a lot of different angles can help ensure that you're targeting all the different fibers within the biceps and triceps, so that way you get a more fuller development and a more separation between like the shoulder, the tricep, the bicep. You start to get more of that definition and separation which a lot of people really like. So those are my 3 tips. Number 1 tip is to start light into heavy, so that way you can build up mind-muscle connection. And that's also my number 2 tip, because it helps save stress in the joints. And number 3 tip is to use a lot of variety, a lot of angles, so that way you can attack the muscle fibers from everywhere. That way you get a full development. If you want some more training information, we do have our daily podcast, has over 2,000 episodes. So that's a lot. We cover nutrition, training, mindset, and listener Q&A. You can find the podcast on any popular podcast platform, but also on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. You can go there, you can find the podcast player. You can also, at the bottom of the homepage, submit a question for the podcast. We do listener Q&A, so any question that comes my way, I will make a podcast for you. And then you can also check out the free information we have for nutrition, training, and then also our services. So that's all on the website. Okay, hopefully this was helpful, and give it all a try, and thank you for watching.